thunderstorms, some heavy amounts of rain, and more rain in the forecast. I'm going to break that down for you.
Plus, authorities released the name of the pedestrian killed in a Joplin crash. And we're going to hear from the Parsons, Kansas police chief on their decision to ramp up overnight patrols.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
4-state area is cooling down and we have heavy amounts of rain in some areas. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Doug Hetty, could be a dent in the drought.
Yeah, we needed a good widespread moderate to heavy rain for so many months now, and finally we got one for us today. Periods of showers, even a few thunderstorms, nothing too strong, nothing severe, but you can see the band continuing to roll through over the past several hours. Heaviest now working into southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, and it's starting to let up a little bit on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, but we do have another batch, a second batch, which will start to affect us late tonight. Through the evening hours, we hold into the 50s, eventually down to about 48 late tonight, but more rain, more showers starting to get in here after midnight. So this band rolls east, and then after midnight, you can see this next band starting to spread into the region. Of course, I'm going to break this down for you, all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. Boy, the rain's especially welcome in light of all the recent fires we've had all across the area. These photos are of a fire across Grand Lake from Lee's Resort in Delaware County, Oklahoma last night. This fire in Paradise Point was described by firefighters as a very large timber fire, about 10 acres near the Paradise Point area. No people were hurt and the fire did not reach any structures. The Neosho, Missouri Police Department's investigating after 2 residents were found dead inside their home. Police received reports of a man dead and a woman dead at the 1000 block of Stratford Place. When they arrived, they found 87-year-old Charles Barnett and 78-year-old Donna Barnett, both dead from, they found a gun nearby. They say Charles Barnett likely killed his wife and then himself. A man who was set to stand trial for the murder of his wife in northeast Oklahoma today instead changed his plea to guilty. John Hackathorn shot his 60-year-old wife, Mary Hackathorn, 4 times at their home in Delaware County in November of 2020. Court documents say the two had been arguing over their ranch property. A judge today sentenced Hackathorn to life in prison for first-degree murder. A Southwest Missouri woman who's bonded out on a murder charge and fled. That woman's now back in custody. The authorities say 49-year-old Don Wynn was arrested for the suspected shooting of her husband Harold Wynn back in November of last year. They say she was out on bond when she disappeared after saying she was suicidal, but a warrant was issued which revoked her bond. U.S. Marshals have taken her back into custody now in Indiana. Authorities released the name of a pedestrian killed in a Saturday morning crash in Joplin. They say 24-year-old Andrew Dodson of rural Joplin was struck by a car on Main Street near the campus of Ozark Christian College. During the investigation, a motorcycle was found in the area of Zora Street and Main Street. That motorcycle belonged to Dodson. Investigators believe he had previously run off the road near the exit ramp and crashed in the ravine. That's why he was on foot when he was hit. Dodson died at the scene. The driver of the car is cooperating with the investigation. 3 people are dead following a shooting at a high school in St. Louis today. That shooting happened at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School. St. Louis police say they received a call about the shooting a little after 9 a.m. They say the shooter was armed with a long gun, and when they encountered him, they exchanged shots. That shooter was around 20 years old, was shot and killed. A teenage girl and woman also died. A total of 8 victims were taken to a hospital with either gunshot wounds or other injuries.
I still feel like I'm real scared still to come. Like, I won't be back to school for a couple, at least next month, like when it's all over. And I don't want to go to this school anymore, actually. And I'm still scared. Like, I want counseling because it's like I seen my friend have all blood on her hand, and it was like she seen the shooter, and the shooter came to her and said, "You ready to die?"
There's no word yet on the shooter's connection to the school. Parsons, Kansas police have stepped up their nighttime enforcement in response to an increase in calls about suspicious activity. The police department wants to be proactive and work with the residents. They encourage residents to communicate with the police and call about any suspicious activity they might see. This provides the police hints and betters the chances of catching the criminals.
Think of a balloon. If we can squeeze a balloon just a little harder here in Parsons, we're not going to necessarily prevent or arrest every criminal, but if we can make it uncomfortable for criminals to do their business here in our community, well, some of those are going to go away.
Like a lot of police departments, the Parsons PD is short-staffed and working 12-hour shifts. They'll get new workers once they complete their training. A new amendment might be coming to the Missouri Constitution. Amendment 5 would put control of the Missouri National Guard within the state's executive branch. KOAM Shagun Bamideli has more.
The Missouri's National Guard is currently part of the Missouri Department of Public Safety. The proposed amendment will create a Missouri's Department of the National Guard.
This allows the governor to exercise direct control over the National Guard, which is what it's supposed to be. Right now, he would have to exercise it through the head of the Public Safety Department, then to get to the National Guard.
But not all voters are convinced a change is necessary.
I'm trying to think of what the advantages would be of being able to have direct access to National Guard and if there's potential to abuse that, and I really don't know either way.
I definitely don't have a strong opinion because I haven't thought about this before, but on first glance it sounds fine because sometimes I can see the use of it. For example, I'm not from around here, but from what I've seen with Joplin, it definitely would have been nice to have a quicker response time. Seems like it really destroyed the city, at least temporarily, But yeah, I don't have too much to say on it because I haven't really thought about this.
White believes the change makes sense and will allow the governor to quickly respond to emergencies.
Directly. The governor controls the Guard, and it makes a lot more sense for the governor to have direct input from the adjutant general and have direct order, nobody in between the adjutant general in charge of the state's military.
In Joplin, Shagun Bamideli, KOAM News.
That proposal will appear on Missouri's November 8th ballot. Coming up, how Pitt State students are raising awareness about domestic violence. Plus, the Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce celebrates a remodeling of their facilities. A Pitt State student group is partnering with campus police to raise awareness about domestic violence. The group Students for Violence Prevention gave others a chance to cover a campus police cruiser in sticky notes. People were able to use the sticky notes to ask questions about domestic violence. It'll be answered at a panel discussion on Wednesday.
So a lot of it is kind of in that fun way of filling the cruiser, so it's directly to the people responsible for that. Kind of how it happens on campus, I feel is a big part, and it's just kind of a unique way, And it's kind of anonymous because we don't know who put what sticky note on the campus, on the cruiser.
The panel will meet Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 at the Overman Student Center. Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting for their own facility. It took 9 months, a little more than $300,000 to renovate the Chamber of Commerce building. United Way, Explore Crawford County, and the Chamber all share the building. Blake Benson says he encourages the community to stop by and see it.
This is their first stop when they come to the community, whether they're a new resident, a visitor, or maybe an economic development prospect looking to make a big investment in our community. We wanted this facility to give the kind of first impression that this community deserves.
The Chamber of Commerce is at 117 West 4th Street. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Riverton Rams volleyball team on their upcoming trip to the state championship.
Plus, we still have some more rain, which is going to work into the region. I'm going to give you those details coming up. Of course, it's turned out to be a wet one for us today, which we needed. We needed a good moderate to heavy widespread rain across the region to help put a little bit of a dent into the massive drought that we've been seeing. You can see the interstate. This is our Lander Chevrolet Tower Cam, southeast side of the city. The roads are wet, so be careful out there as we continue to get periods of showers, even a few random thunderstorms rotating through. This started mid-morning, through the morning, afternoon, had one little heavy line that worked through. Now most of it is pushing into southwestern Missouri, northwest parts of Arkansas, and then starting to dry out a bit on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. But you can see a pretty good line really from Nevada, Lamar down through Joplin into southwestern Missouri. So this last batch of moderate to heavy rain will continue to work through. Let's track a little farther south. Here's the metro, here's Neosho. We can go over toward Mount Vernon, Monette, Aurora, Cassville, and then into McDonald County, Knoll, Anderson, Pineville, all the way down toward Jane, and then the back edge, kind of Grand Lake and Miami. So we are going to start to dry out a bit as we go through the evening hours. Look at the heaviest rain right along the state line of Kansas and Missouri. On average, most people have picked up about 1.25 inches. Some areas 2.5 inches of rain so far out of this storm system. Through the rest of the evening, showers start to taper. A lot of clouds, but rain's going to pick back up again later on tonight, especially after midnight. 7th range line. It's wet, 56, easterly winds, humidity is at 90%. All right, look at the storm system stretching from Minnesota all the way down through parts of Texas. Here's our break, and then you can see the upper level low across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. This will rotate out on top of us as we go into late tonight and tomorrow morning with our second batch of rain. So 9 p.m., just a few light little showers. Rain starts to spread back in after midnight, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor. Could even be a few embedded thunderstorms. Here's 5 a.m. and as we go into 8, 9 a.m., so again a wet start, just kind of clipping on northwestern counties. If you live Yates Center, Fredonia, Neodesha, Chanute, you aren't going to get a whole bunch out of the second batch. Then it rotates, starts to head out of here, so here's about the noon hour, 1 p.m., and then clear skies by the evening. But look at our temps, only into the mid-50s, and then we're going to drop back down into the upper 30s for us later on tonight. So rain chances go down next few hours and then pop up after midnight for us tonight. Additional amounts of rain, the heaviest will be along and south of I-44. Another 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, maybe an inch. Lesser amounts once you get into our northwestern counties. So a rainy morning, some sunshine by evening, high temp of 55 degrees. 39 tomorrow night, 64 on Wednesday. Thursday looks great. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a weak little system kind of slides to our south. We'll be on the northern edge, so we may get a random shower or two. It doesn't look like a big deal. And then Halloween right now looks pretty good, partly sunny. High temp is 66.
Yeah, no one wants to carry an umbrella while they're trick-or-treating, but boy, some more rain before that would sure be nice.
You need it.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Fort Scott enters the postseason with momentum, and we're going to hear from the Class 3A sub-state champs as they prepare for the state tournament. Danny Turzer has that and more up next.
The Riverton Rams are sub-state champions and will compete for the state title for the 3rd year in a row. The Rams are 37-2 this season and have earned the 2 seed for this weekend's state tournament. Riverton is both experienced and motivated. Last year at state, the Rams season came to an end after day 1, and they've been working hard for months to have another shot at the title.
Our serve receive has been solid. Defensively, we've really picked things up, and we're starting to make some plays that maybe we didn't make early in the year. Communication has gotten better. They just gelled as a unit. We do have a lot of our returners back. I think you just see a really focused, intense group of kids that we were so close last year to getting into that second day of state, and I think they're really on a mission.
Over in Missouri today is the Class 4 District 6 semifinals. The top 4 seeds remain. Number 1 Webb City is in the middle of its semifinal match against Glendale right now. The Cardinals lead 2-0. On the other side of the bracket, Carl Junction plays Branson. We'll have updates from both of those games tonight at 10. Fort Scott closed out the regular season with a statement win on Friday. The Tigers' 50-44 win over Field Kinley in double overtime is voted the performance of the week. The Tigers trailed by as much as 16 points on Friday and still pulled off the comeback win. Lennox Van connected with Ty Marbury late in the 4th to tie the game and force overtime. Later, he found Colton Rogers for the game-winning touchdown. Van finished with 159 rushing yards and 6 total touchdowns. Fort Scott ends the regular season with a 2-6 record. They'll face undefeated Atchison in the first round of the playoffs. The Pitt State Gorillas are a perfect 8-0 with 3 regular season games to go. They remain at number 5 in this week's national rankings and continue to sit at the top of the conference standings. As the postseason nears, the Gorillas are trying to focus on one game at a time. That means preparing for this Saturday's road game against Central Oklahoma.
This team is, again, very mature, and they understand that this has been a good process for us, remaining focused on the moment that we're in. Yeah, the target grows and all of that, and teams are going to get up to play us to try to knock you off, but that doesn't change who we are. It doesn't change our standard.
They're on a roll. Hope they can just keep their eyes straight in front of them, see what the next challenge is, and overcome it.
Yeah, I think they have the right approach. Should be a good game against Central Oklahoma. Two on the road, then they return home for the season finale.
We'll be right back. Take some time now to honor a local veteran. Jimmy Dennison served in the U.S. Army from 1965 to 1967. The Nevada, Missouri native was stationed in Germany and made the 12th Army headquarters mobile. We are proud to salute Jimmy Dennison, a 4-state hero. Of course, you can learn about lots of other heroes. We have thousands of them in our database. They're from towns all across the 4 states and from different eras. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime, and we encourage you to do so. Just go to our website, click on the link. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. If you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to watch our newscasts live, all you have to do is download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge. You find it in the Apple Store, or the App Store rather, of your choice. Why not do it right now? Just search for KOAM Plus. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'll look at security concerns over plans for TikTok's parent company to expand. Plus, new government data shows a major drop in student test scores during the pandemic, and what a new study shows about how negative campaign ads affect how people vote. Those stories and a lot more, it's coming up tonight, KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Dog lovers, listen up, your pup could be a star. Check out some pics of these photogenic pups and ask yourself, is my dog even more photogenic than this? Yeah? If you say yes, you, or at least your dog, could make up to $10,000 a year. I'm sure your dog would share it with you. Yappy.com, a website for pet gifts, is hiring a chief fluff officer. The job description all boils down to being cute and taking even cuter pictures while trying out some of the gifts from the website. Just apply by November 18th. Doesn't every pet owner believe that their pet is cute and maybe the cutest?
Yeah, mine's the cutest.
I imagine they have a lot of submissions for that job.
No doubt about it. A lot of people will be disappointed that someone thinks their pet's not the cutest. More rain chances, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit of a break this evening and then more rolling in after midnight tonight.
Final sports notes.
Lots of postseason volleyball going on in Missouri right now. We'll have a bunch of scores at 10.
Look forward to that. See you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.